Hey everybody, welcome to 5 Minutes with Ben. I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold, and this week and next week we're going to do World Championship recaps. We've already done the first two rounds. The third game just ended. Very exciting game. So let's have a look at the game. Gukesh is white, Liren is black. Tomorrow's a rest day, so if you're watching this video the same day I made it, there's no round 4 tomorrow. They take a break. So you guys have a break for for one game. Sorry I'm a little hoarse. Mainly I'm a human, but today I'm a little hoarse. Okay, so Gukesh surprised on move 1, played d4. Knight f6, knight f3, d5. They played a queen's gambit. Gukesh played the exchange variation, slightly unusual. And queen c2 stops bishop f5. So Ding played g6 to play bishop f5. And Ding was walking into Gukesh's preparation. Gukesh was moving instantly every move. And he did that for a very long time. He played h3. Some people in the live chat were saying that there were some games between Arjun and Kramnik in this line. So the idea is after bishop f5, which was played, queen b3, attacking b7. A lot of people in the chat were like b6, b5. Ugh. And I didn't sleep all night because I was watching the game and I'm having a medical procedure later, so I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, b6, b5, I can't sleep. I would have had nightmares. Anyway, black played the normal move, queen b6. Now, some of you may have wondered a couple moves ago, why did white play h3? Well, white knew black wanted to play bishop f5, because black played g6. Now we can kick the bishop. And Ding had a very long think here, and he played very paradoxical queen trade and bishop c2, attacking the pawn on b3. Problem is, if you don't win the pawn on b3, your bishop can get trapped. But it turns out the engine approves of Ding's handling of the situation. And Gukesh continued to play instantly, so this is deep into his prep still. Bishop f4. So the idea is, if we take on b3, white plays knight d2, and white has more than one way to win the pawn back. One is to, like after here, play something like e3 and bishop takes c4 and have two bishops. The other is sometimes white will play bishop takes knight and rook takes a7 if white's desperate to win the pawn back, which you shouldn't be. So bishop takes b3 is possible, but Ding relatively quickly played h5, which is what Kramnik was doing in his, I guess, rapid games with Gukesh. Unless they were blitz games. Instantly, Gukesh played rook g1 without thinking. Takes. Now, longest think of the match, I think, so far. Ding Liren thought for 33 minutes and change. And he played the engine move. So I guess thinking a long time can make you play a good move. He played knight bd7. And the idea is we're defending our knight on f6, and bishop e5 isn't gaining a tempo because it's defended and it can be captured. We're stopping bishop takes knight and rook takes pawn. We're developing a piece. And this position, white played knight to d2 because he wants to trap the bishop. He's defending the pawn on b3. White wants to play rook c1, and black's bishop could be lost. And once again, Ding played the best move. He played this move instantly because he had thought 33 minutes on knight d7. Rook g8. Again, the engine move. And Gukesh is in preparation, and Ding is thinking 30 minutes a move and playing the best moves. And this seemed to be the end of Gukesh's preparation, because in this position, White thought for almost 17 minutes, and he made a move that probably wasn't very good. The idea behind Rook g8 is to play the move g5. So, for example, if Rook c1 trapping the bishop, I can play g5. And now my bishop isn't trapped anymore. And if you take and I take, that's fine for black. If you take on g5, I take on g4, that's also fine for black. White has those doubled isolated b pawns. So Gukesh thought for almost 17 minutes, played g5. Engine doesn't like that move. Knight h5 attacking the bishop. Bishop h2. Once again, Ding played the engine move, rook h8, preparing to castle kingside later. Okay. And now White made a further mistake in this position. Probably should play rook c1. He played f3, never play f3. This gives black the advantage. The point of f3 is to trap the bishop. Bishop can't go to e4, and White wants to play e4 soon and really trap the bishop. Then rook c1 wins the bishop. So Ding played knight g7. Once again, it's the engine move, attacking the bishop. Bishop went to g3. And finally, after taking so much time and putting so much effort into the position, finally, Liren cracks. So in this position, black should play bishop f5, getting his bishop out of dodge. The bishop has the e6 square. It's also possible to play knight e6. That might work tactically, but it might not. It could be rook c1 is still good for White. But bishop f5 saves the bishop. The bishop has e6, and the engine prefers black now. Liren left his bishop on c2, too many moves, played rook h5, basically ignoring his bishop on c2. So now Gukesh is close to winning, if not winning, just because of one bad move. e4, now the bishop is trapped, and White wants to play rook c1, winning the bishop. Liren tried to get his bishop out and defend it. Knight e6 to play knight takes d4. Gukesh correctly attacked the bishop. Black's a pawn ahead, but after bishop f2, we're threatening to take the knight, and the knight can't move away because we lose the bishop. So black played bishop g7, and brilliantly, Gukesh played knight e2. And this wins a piece. Now, the engine says the best way to lose a piece for black is bishop takes e4. The idea is if you take with the knight, I can play knight f3 check and take the rook. And if you take the knight with the bishop, or the knight, actually, I think is the engine move. Bishop d5. And, White's pawn structure is pretty terrible. And black has 2 pawns for a piece, and it's hard for White to win. Ding didn't play that way. Ding played knight takes b3, which also makes it hard for White to win. White's pawn structure isn't very good. Knight e5, threatening knight f3 check. Knight d4. Rook d8, threatening knight f3 check. Again, for those of you who aren't good with notation, that's knight f3 check. King e2, rook h2, bishop unpinned the other bishop, finally developed. A6, B3. These are just strengthening moves. Now, black played king E7, which isn't best. White played rook D1. So in this position, it looks like white can play knight G4, but that turns out to be a bad move because white can play the move knight F3, attacking the rook. And if you take the rook, hoping for king takes rook, knight takes bishop check, or rook takes rook, rook takes bishop check, white has this Zwischenzug, bishop C5 check. And that way the knight can't take the bishop. So if the king moves away somewhere, then I can just take the rook. And white's threatening knight takes rook. White's pieces are all nice. Okay, so Ding thought a long time and played king E2, or king E8. I'm sorry. Now, Ding had thought a long time on a lot of moves. This was move 31. Now, they don't get increment or delay until move 40. Then they get 30-second increment. Before that, there is no increment. And here, Ding had like 1 minute and 20 seconds left to make 9 moves. It's not a lot of time and no increment. And that ended up costing him in the end. Gukesh played bishop G3, excellent move. In 1 second, Ding Liren played rook H5. Knight F3, defending the pawn on G5. Knight takes F3. King takes F3. Now, in this position, if you play rook takes, well, let's trade rooks first just to show you why it's bad. You play takes on G5. Bishop H4 threatens the rook and also threatens checkmate if the rook moves away. Rook D8 mate. So black has to be very careful about taking that pawn on G5. Anyway, he ended up playing bishop D4 with like 20 seconds on his clock to make 6 moves. Gukesh moved his rook because it's attacked. Rook H1, that's the best move. Ding Liren thought a long time here, which doesn't make any sense because he had 20 seconds. But he used a lot of it, and he probably is losing. Probably doesn't matter what he does, but he should play rook takes rook. He ended up taking the pawn because he has 3 pawns for a piece now. And then Gukesh quickly played bishop H3. And in this position, black doesn't really have a good move. If black plays rook D8, bishop H4 skewers the rooks. You can't play rook D6 because it's hanging. You can't play rook D5 because it's hanging. And you can't move your rook sideways because your bishop's hanging. So Ding played the only move he could think of, F5. Then Gukesh played bishop F4, and Ding Liren made a move and was knocking pieces over, and his flag fell, and he resigned. But he played rook H5, which is the only safe square. And I don't know if he resigned or he lost on time, or both. But in this position, white's winning immediately with bishop takes F5, which was not played because after rook H5, the game ended. I think Ding lost on time, but I'm not 100% sure. If he didn't lose on time, he had like 1 or 2 seconds left. So he was going to lose on time because it's move 37. But bishop takes F5 wins immediately. If you take with the rook, you're just down a rook. If you take with the pawn, you're still down a rook. And if you take the rook, I play another Zwischenzug, I take with check, and then I take the rook, and I'm up a rook. So bishop takes F5 is immediately winning, and the game ended here before Gukesh could play it, either by time forfeit or Ding knocking all the pieces over. He had no time. So a brilliant win by Gukesh. Ding Liren fought his way out of the opening preparation of Gukesh, and just that one bad move rook h5 earlier in the game, and I want to show that move. In this position, Ding had played a model game until this point, and the engine preferred black. But after rook h5, his bishop on c2 got trapped. He ended up losing his bishop. He got a couple of pawns, but it wasn't enough. A brilliant equalizer from Gukesh. The match is now tied 1.5, 1.5. Thanks for watching. I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment. You've been watching 5 Minutes with Ben. This was about 12 minutes. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Remember, tomorrow's a rest day, so round 4, there's a day in between where they don't play. Thanks, everybody. Bye.